Another weekend is here again, and it's good to have you join us on Reporters Blog. My name is Patricia. Guys, we'll have interesting stuff for you today after this break. Please stay. Welcome back. I believe you've been watching the Joy News Prime, the new Joy News Prime Reloaded from 7 to 9. And you know, she's the one that's been presenting the entertainment news. And we all call her Miss G. I know her way back, and she joins me in studio today. Welcome to Reporters Blog.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia.
It's been a long time.
Very long time. It's a long journey, actually. And I never dreamt that a day will come when we would have to sit down like this and you're interviewing me or I'm speaking to you about something, because we have known ourselves over a decade.
Yes.
Over a decade, or close to a decade, if I'm right. And it's a pleasure, and I'm honored to be. You
know, actually, she used to be my colleague in the Central region, and she's still my colleague now in the Greater Accra region with the Multimedia Group Limited.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And I remember the very first day I saw you, I'm like, Patricia, in fact, one of our colleagues actually, you know, told me to see you. And he was speaking about you, and I'm like, oh, Patricia, Patricia, Patricia. And I saw you, I'm like, this person has been telling me about you. This person has been telling me about you. It's great to see you. Then I was just on radio.
Yeah.
And you were on TV. And I'm like, it's great to see you. And it's good to know that, you know, we have grown and we can still be in touch, and we're doing what we always loved to do.
Yeah. Okay, so now enough of me. Let's go to you. You've been doing radio, Hits FM. I believe you've listened to that sweet voice on Hits FM. She's the one. She's the main person, Miss G. Oh?
Yeah.
So radio, TV, this transition. How is it like managing the two? Because I know you come to work at 5 or.
Yes, before 6.
Before 6.
Yeah,
and then you leave at 11.
Before now, I used to live at 1:30, 2 o'clock because of the
AM.
No, I come before 6 a.m.
Okay.
And I leave by 1:30, 2 p.m. I am done for the day at Hits FM because of our afternoon news at 1. So by 2 o'clock, I am done for the day.
But now there's a new baby.
You know, but now I come before 6 a.m. and I leave 8:30. That's when I'm early. Sometimes I move at about 8:45, 9 o'clock, and I'm heading home. And I'm supposed to be back the next day before 6 a.m.
Okay, it's something we all do. We're all used to this. Just spending most of our time in the office, and you know, getting work done. But I know my side. But tell me your side. How was it like?
The good thing about it is that at least I get to get a little break, because at 2 p.m. when I'm done with radio, I can actually breathe. You know, give myself a sigh of relief and wait till about 4 p.m. when I get back to television to get content for the evening. So between then, at least I get to feel myself. But the thing is that I get to do it from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, I'm done by 10 a.m. and I can get enough rest on Saturdays and on Sundays. So it's better. It's something I love doing, and so I can't complain. I have,
you know, it's like there's this thing when you love to do something, you do it with you give it your all, and you don't get tired,
and you don't feel the pain.
Yes.
Even when you're hurting, you're like, I need to finish this. I need to finish this. I know that there are days when I don't have content, especially for TV. I know, unlike radio, where I can just sample voices. TV, I need visuals.
Yeah.
I need to get people a moving visual. Actually, I need to get moving visuals.
Yeah.
So when I don't have content, I'm worried. I can't even eat. I'm telling you. It's almost this time. At 8 p.m. or at 8:10, the entertainment news has to go, and I don't like boring news. So I'm like, I need to find content.
Has there been a time? Has there ever been a time that you're supposed to come on TV and you didn't have content?
There have been times when I don't have content, and you know, you need to find your way around it. You need to find content, but make news out of it. There could be times when you had some interactions with people and you have voices.
Yeah.
What I do is that I piece pictures together and I tell the story. So I've had a conversation with you, maybe I have your voice. Rather not to lay your voice beneath it and make it boring, I come and tell the story. So I've been speaking to Patricia, she tells me this, and I heard that, and I heard that. I think it makes it even more exciting because it's authentic.
Yeah.
You've spoken to the person. And so that is only when I get some comfort. But apart from that, I'm always looking for visuals. I'm always looking for content. And it's sometimes frustrating, you know.
How was it like when Atu finally told you, you know, Gloria, you're on radio, but we are starting Joy Prime Reloaded, and you have to present in the entertainment news. How was it like? Because personally, you knew I'm supposed to be done by 2.
Yeah.
And now there's a new baby, and I'm supposed to be closing at what time?
Patricia, seriously, the time it didn't come across, it didn't cross my mind at all that I'll be heading home late. I'm just like, I'm gonna kill this one. I'm here to kill it. I have always longed to have this opportunity. Go kill it, girl. That is me.
Yeah.
I didn't at that point, and they were concerned. They were like, oh, you come that early, and our concern is when you're going to close. And in my head, I'm like, who is thinking about that for now? It is not my business yet. Let me go kill it. Let people love it, and later on, we'll sort out the time. And so I said to Atu, bring it on.
Bring it on,
Bring it on,
baby.
you know. I'm like, bring it on. Let's see what I can do with this. Because for me, I think that the kind of industry we find ourselves, the more opportunities you get, the more growth you have, and the more marketable you become. Yeah. And so if you think that okay, it's going to consume my time, that I might not be able to do that, my dear, you will go obsolete. You know how, look at how long we've been in radio in Cape Coast, and look at how long it's taken us to come to radio or television in Accra and to get a bit of people or some people noticing us.
Yeah, yeah.
And you say, okay, I don't like this platform because this body is supposed to work. I tell you. It's supposed to work.
You know, I remember the times that Yahweh Javi would tell me, you're supposed to do this program. And it's going to eat late into the night. Sometimes I'm supposed to start at 12 midnight and then at 4. And I have lectures.
Exactly.
And I'm wondering, okay, I love it, so I have to do it. Even if I have to go to class and doze off, so far as I get to do what I love, yes,
I thank God for campus radio. I think it's what actually brought out what was in us.
Yeah.
We got the opportunity, and what I said to people, that campus radio gives you the opportunity to make all the mistakes you want to make.
Yeah.
It sharpens you up. You know, it's just a small constituency listening to you, and you don't get the feedback you get now. Because now you have a larger constituency, and so anybody can tell you anything they want to. On campus, you're your friends basically. Would they tell you that, oh, you said this way and it's not the right thing to have said? They won't tell you. They'll rather patch you. Your friend is on radio, of course, and so they want to feel good. But it sharpened us. It gives them the opportunity, to do what we thought. Oh, it was just a passion. Now it's business. It's not more a passion.
No.
It's business. It has moved from just being a passion to becoming what we are feeding on. Yeah. And we're looking forward to bigger things.
Let's talk about your best moment.
Best moment on radio and television.
Both radio and TV.
Let me tell you about the television one. It's one moment that I'm sure is going to take me a very long while to forget. The very first day I was on set for the entertainment news. I came. Before I came, a friend of mine who is a colleague asked, don't you feel butterflies in your stomach? And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. No, so I said, is it that there's something wrong with me? I'm going to flop on the first day. And I said, throw that behind you. So when I sat down, I started to tell my story. By the time we're done the first story, Israel gave me a huge high five. Atu came straight from the production to give me a high five. I'm like, I'm done. I'm telling you, I'm like, I'm done.
It, baby.
I'm like, I'm done. This is what I was looking for, and I'm done. And that's been the best moment for me so far. And Atu keeps. Atu is not one who would pamper you with words. He tells you straight to the face, and he's always like, Gloria, I'm grateful I made this decision. And I'm like, man, take your time. We are going somewhere. We haven't arrived yet, But it makes me feel good. Not because I feel that I've done too much, but I feel that what I'm doing is being appreciated. Yeah. And the effort and the time I put into it to get stuff to work, it's been noticed and it's been appreciated. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, Atu. I tell him every time, I say, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for selling me this well. Thank you. I won't let you down.
So now let's talk about the sad and down moment.
Oh,
that one happened in radio.
In radio, and Marco Prekumante, wherever you are, a very good afternoon to you. Now, I got to radio, and this is how I tell the story. I got to radio. I called Nathaniel Atto, my passport to multimedia. I got to multimedia through Nathaniel. He handed me over to Mark Okrekumante. Mark fought a lot for me, but Mark was getting disappointed in me because what he was looking for, I wasn't given on radio.
What was he looking for?
He was looking for more, and it looks like I was laid back because, and I say this without fear, as of the time, the environment was not that friendly, so I'd crawled into my shell, so I wasn't giving my best. And so one day he calls me and sits me down and tells me his mind. You know Mark already. He tells me, and I wept like I was 6 months. My whole eyes were popping up. He took Echi to take me to his office, talk to me, and I began to realize that there's more being expected of me. It was not to torture me, it was not to break me down,
but to bring out the best out of
me. And that day, I could say it was my best, it was my worst day ever at multimedia. I'm not sure I'm going to have a day like that ever again. My eyes were almost popping. It was
like he's forced you out of your shell.
Oh my God! And I'm like, after that day, I said to myself, the only thing that can hold you back is yourself.
Yeah.
And so once you let yourself go, the world is big for you to conquer. And that's been it.
Wow. I'm so grateful I had you on Reporters Blog. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
sharing.
Me.
I guess we'll be having more of you.
Sure. Anytime you invite me, I'm a chatterbox, you know.
Thank you so much. And that's my colleague Gloria Nyako. We all call her Miss G. We'll be right back with more. Please stay. You're still live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. The program is Reporters Blog with me, Patricia Gasu. My next colleague is Prince Owusu Esiedu. He reports for Adom TV and he joins me for the first time on Reporters Blog. Welcome.
Thank you, Patricia.
How was it like reporting for Adom TV?
Oh, that's nice. You know, first and foremost, I'll thank you for having me on your show.
We'll be having you more time. Because I know you do more assignments, more challenging stuff, and we'll be having you more.
That's beautiful.
Henceforth, anyway.
I welcome that. I welcome that. You know, it all started from Pink FM, way back Pink FM. That's a radio station in Central Region. So I had an appointment to work with multimedia. So when I was coming, I was like, working with radio and going to work with a TV station. How is it going to be? So I was, thinking about how to go about it. So my first day walking to Multi TV, I saw reporters, cameramen around. I was like, so all these people are here. They are all working here. So I told myself, so can I work with them? So I think, was it 2 days, 3 days, I developed this idea that if I'm able to do radio, why can't I do TV? I need to just picture.
You need to encourage yourself.
Yes, so 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, I started working. I was assigned to go out. I think my first story that I did was a story at Kaswa.
What story is that?
A stone quarry story that I went there. There was a stone quarry.
Yeah.
Stone quarry operation. So I went there with my cameraman and we were chased up. Imagining me and a cameraman. My first day.
You were chased.
My first day at Multi TV. We were chased at Kaswa. We did a story at Kaswa, so we were chased. So imagining, and the driver was also, speeding up because the people told us that if we don't leave, they were going to kill us. They were holding guns and what have you because they didn't want any reporter to come there and report. There was a school very close to the stone quarry. Imagining where the school was and where the stone quarry is. And the school was also in a deplorable state. So they were not ready to help the school. So we went there to do the story and we were chased out. So imagining a reporter and a cameraman, running for our lives. It's not easy. So from that time, I sat down and I said, if I could do this story, and it was shown on television and everybody was like, this story is nice, it's nice. And I said, if audience can say that the story is nice, then I need to continue. I need to do something nice.
More compelling.
Yeah, more compelling, more enterprising, you know. So I gave myself a challenge that I need to be, you know, doing more nicer stories than what I did. So any day I walk to the office, what I plan off is, today, what am I going to do extra?
Yeah.
I don't want to do things that people will see that and they say, oh, this is a normal thing that Owusu has done. So I always want to do something that people will talk about it.
Yeah.
That is what I always
thinking out of the
prefer to
box and
Yes.
doing something more
That
creative
is me.
to build up on the old one.
That is me.
Oh, that's
That is me.
nice.
That is me.
Wow. So tell me about your interesting moment reporting.
Yeah, my interesting moment reporting was at the forecourt of Parliament.
Okay.
I remember you heard that the government called for the removal of those are Sodom and Gomorrah. That's
Yeah.
what they termed it. So the people there.
It's now old for Dama.
Yes, there was a misunderstanding. So
Yeah.
they had to besiege the forecourt of Parliament. So I was asked to go there and report. Imagining, you know, being in the midst of all these people. I wanted to, I even remember one of my colleagues, they seized this mobile phone,
Latif.
Latif. I was
Latif
there
was on
with
reporter's
Latif.
block.
I was there with Latif. And, you know, when I started doing the interview, everybody there wanted me to interview him or her. And some of them were even taking the microphone.
So whilst they were shunning Latif, they were rather calling on you to interview
They
them.
were calling on me. They were taking the microphone from me. I'm the reporter doing the reporting. And I'm the one holding the microphone. But instead, they were taking the microphone and they want to do their own interview. So you'll be there and this person will call you. Hey, my friend, I want to do the interview. Hey, come to me. Come to me. Everybody wants to speak. So I was like, so how do I get everybody to speak? And they were all around me. So I was scared. And my cameraman was like, Charlie, do the interview. I said, hey, look at these people. Some of them were holding knives and what have you. And I was like, hey, so can I do the interview? So I had to go forward. I started doing the interview. As I saw at my back, a little girl had pushed me. Hey, my friend, come and interview me. I said, hey, leave me. Why do you want to do this? And the guys were like, hey, if you don't know and you tell the girl, we'll beat you here. So I started laughing. I said, hey, Charlie, you know something? These people, they will destroy me there. So I was afraid. So I had to go on with the interview. A small girl holding my dress that I should interview. I said, my friend, keep quiet. I said, if you don't know and you tell the girl,
we'll beat you up.
We'll beat you up. So I just saw the people around and I said, oh, with these people, I can't do anything, so I need to shut up. So I just
you shut up and obey them.
I obeyed them and I continued with my interview because I didn't want any frustration. So I did the interview, and after that, when we were coming, my cameraman was like, Charlie, you know something? I was scared for you. I said, I was there. You were with the camera, so they were all around me. They wanted to do, but with you, you were holding the camera, but I was the one facing them. I was the one going through that challenge. So, you know, I felt it interesting, you know, interviewing one person and the whole people wanted to talk. I have only one microphone and everybody wants to talk. How many people can talk through the microphone? Look at the number of, you see the mouths around, everybody's mouth want to talk through the microphone. It's not easy. So that was my interesting day, you know.
Oh.
It wasn't easy at all.
Okay, I believe there are more interesting stuff.
There are more. I remember when we went to Ablekuma. I did a story at Ablekuma. There was a stone blast that killed an 11-year-old
11-month-old baby.
11 months baby, yeah. So I went there to do the story. And when imagining when we got to Ablekuma, I think there was a man there who said he claimed he's Asafache. So when we got there, the man told us that
he claims
he claimed he's Asafache. So when we got there, the man told us that before we open up or before we whatever that we brought to him, he told us that before we could whatever the reception that he had wanted to give us, he wanted us to pray. And I said, oh, we can pray. You know what the man did? He said we should wait for him. He went inside, came back with a schnapp. And he asked that do you want us to pray with a schnapp or you want us to pray the normal prayer? So I just looked at my cameraman and I said, so which one do we go for? Because I'm a Christian, you are also a Christian.
Christians, you don't pray with.
The man told us that you want schnapp or you, so that was my first time. I didn't know that when you go to any Asafache, you have to pray with a schnapp or you have to pray with the Bible or whatever. So he bought a Bible and a schnapp, and we told him that we want a Bible. So after praying, the man told us that the story that we came there to do, there have been a lot of media stations that have done the coverage. And one thing that he didn't like is, after the coverage, they were supposed to
acknowledge him
in the story, but they didn't do that. And he told us that he has cursed the media house. So if we were not ready to acknowledge him in the story that we were going to do, at the end of the day, he wasn't going to grant us
any
the
interview.
Audience. Yes, he wasn't going to grant us any interview. So I was like, we came today, say, my friend, if you are not ready to acknowledge me, no interview.
He wants to be on TV now. Come on.
You want to be on TV, and the story that I'm going to do, if I realize doesn't concern you, why do I have to put you on TV? You get me? So I was like, Charlie, so do I have to keep on doing the story? So we also understood his, his point. We continue with the interview. From there, we had to go to another Muslim man that they also say that he's also in charge of the Muslims and what have you. So the whole day that I spent at Ablekuma, when I was coming back to the office, one funny thing that I always look out for is when you go for a shot, or maybe when you go out for a story, and maybe you come back to the studio and you try, getting the visuals, and maybe there are some shot or cutaways that you took. Those are the cutaways that maybe you want to start with the story. So you go through the stories and you don't get the cutaways, and it's like, Charlie, so how do I get these cutaways? Because when we went there, we didn't have it easy. It was tough. Yeah. So how am I going to go back to Ablekuma and get this whole thing done? I remember that day when we came, we were trying to retrieve some of the visuals and we couldn't get them. So I had to call my cameraman in. We went through the SD card. For all we knew, the visuals had been positioned in another folder.
Oh, okay.
So my heart was, jumping up and down. Say, if I don't get this story done, the whole day my boss was going to kill me, because it was a story that we were all looking at to get the audience watched. So it wasn't easy. So
has there ever been a time that you said to yourself, "Oh my God, I wish I wasn't working here"? Like maybe your bad moment, your sad moment. Maybe you went out there to get a story and you came and then the visuals corrupted, and there was nothing you could do.
Yes, my sad moment. I remember. Mostly when I go out for assignments, I don't return to the office to sit behind a computer, as some of my colleagues sit behind a computer and you see them typing their story. I always do my stories on my phone.
Okay.
Because the phone is a computer. It's Android. So I don't have to come to the office and put a laptop in front of me and start doing the stories. I do the stories on my phone and I send them through my mail to my boss, my editor.
Yeah.
Who is Kofi Adoma. So anytime I get to the studio, before I get here, he had edited the stories.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just push the visuals through. So what I find it very difficult or challenging is anytime I go to the field and maybe I try to do the story, anytime I'm doing the story, I always have to picture the story and tell myself, how am I going to script the story?
Yeah.
Because right after the story that I'm doing, I need to script it to suit the story. So when I'm doing the story, what I do is I will start, picturing the story and tell myself, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? So whilst I'll be doing the interview, I'll still be doing another picturing in my mind to get the story done, because I'm using only one camera. So if I don't picture the story in my mind and after the interview I don't script the story, how do I get another story done? So every day I need to get about 6 or 7 stories a day. When I started working here, I need to get about 6, 7 stories. And one funny thing is, when I don't have credit on my phone to script the story, and maybe I don't have enough money to in my pocket, what do? That is where I sit down and I tell myself, if I were to be at home, eating, sleeping and relaxing, I don't think I would have gone through this pressure. So I go through my phone and I realize I don't have a credit. Sometimes I even send a story, and before I get to the studio, my boss will tell me I didn't get any story. And I'll be like, but I sent a story.
So forgetting you don't have credit?
Forgetting I don't have credit. So I'll go and my boss will ask me to go and do the story. Now I have to go and sit behind a laptop or something and do it. So the whole day had gone. So these are some of the things. So I sit down and I tell myself, how am I going to take it? If I were to be at home, My mom would have cooked for me. My dad would have given me some chop money to eat.
Now it's time for you to take care of them.
You know, it's not easy taking care of them.
As well.
It will be well, as you said. It's not easy. So with all these things that I go through, you know, imagine at times when I even come, I don't sit in the office. If you've realized that, I don't know if you've monitored. I don't have a seat that I sit on. That you see that maybe Owusu is sitting or Owusu is there. I don't sit down. You see me going up and down. Maybe I go to my boss at radio, go for lineup. I come back, I sit with the editor, we edit the stories. Or maybe I'll go for lunch or something. I don't sit down. So you always see me going up and down. So some people ask me, do you work here? I say, yeah. But we see you going up. Are you with radio or you are with TV? And I say, I'm with all. It's all multimedia. So when you see me at radio or TV, it's all multimedia.
It was nice having your reporters blog.
That's beautiful.
As I said, we're having more of you. And that was my colleague, Prince Owusu Esiedu. He reports for Adom TV. Okay, he reports for multimedia in general, both the radio and TV. Anytime we need him, we call on him. It has been nice having you this weekend on Reporters Blog, but up next is a soundbite of the week.
And then you see a way, so your papa and Sonny Benny. I someone who really no baby myself. Tell me why on them, coffee papa saw this a year. No need you off it, now you were offended by you on me. Shaggy me boy, I get
Boko Mbanku is always an interesting man. Anyway, my name is Patricia Gasu. Until we meet same time next week, stay blessed.